Hey guys, so today we're going to be talking about this. This is the SIM800L, which is a GSM GPRS sort of module that you can use. Now it's an evaluation board essentially, and it's an evaluation board for that little tin can that's on the top here. We'll get a closer look in a second. Essentially you stick an SD card in, a micro SD, and you're able to send text messages, make phone calls, communicate with the internet, whatever you really want to do, but do it mobily. Mobily? Okay, we're going to go with that being a word. It's pretty simple to interface with. This evaluation board has voltage level translation, and it also has a 5-volt input, and I think it's brought down by a diode by the looks of it, down to 3.3 volts. So let's plug it in and have a look. So we've got it all wired up now. It's pretty self-explanatory. There's just 5 volts, you've got your RX and TX, you've got ground, and there's a reset pin as well. Now, I'm using software serial on my 80 mega 25? No, the Arduino Mega. And I've just wired it in through the normal power stuff. It isn't massively power hungry, so you don't need to worry about that too much. But it is going to draw more than a standard output pin. So you're going to have to wire it in straight through the regulator or through V-in. If you're using USB, you can do that. Now I've got a couple of buttons on this board here. One's for reset, and one is for triggering a text message. Now at the moment it's not going to trigger a text message because I've disabled that just while I demo it. So let's jump and have a look at the code itself. So here's the code. I've just plugged the module back in, so we've got some stuff that's come out on the serial monitor. And it says that it's ready, it's CFun ready, I'm not sure what that is, CPin ready, call ready and SMS ready. So basically it just means it's ready, I think. And then we've got our code just here. Now I'm organizing this in a way so that I can send GPS coordinates to a mobile phone because I'm working on a high altitude balloon project. We're not going to go into that today, but we're going to be looking at how to send temperature sensor data to your phone. Now I'm using an LM35. It's a really simple one. I've covered them before, so go back into my videos if you want to see how to do that. Essentially, it's 5 volts in, ground, and then analog signal out. And you just do a bit of sort of calculation stuff like here to sort that out. Now, we need to use software serial with the SIM800L, so we've defined that here as pin 10 and 11 for RX and TX. They're software serial examples in the library, in the IDE if you don't know how to do that. And if we move down a little bit here, we've got a section here that says, if the software serial port is available, write it to the serial port so that we can see what it's kicking out. And that's what's happened on the serial output. Now, we have a function here called send text message. This is the important bit. So this bit here, it just says it's sending text message, but it works on AT commands. So we've got an AT command here for sending a text message. So it sets the shield to SMS mode. It says shield because I'm using some example code from Seed Studios. And then it goes on to specify the telephone number. I've left mine out of here so that you can't have my mobile number. However, if you're cool, you can always ask for it. And then we've got a section here I've commented out because this was what I was messing around with for the GPS stuff. And then this bit here, it's just adding text to the text message by printing it to the software serial. And then down here, we're ending it. And so then it will print a final character, which is Control Z, and that will tell the module to send the text message. And then it'll tell us the text is sent. There's also a bit here for a voice call, but I'm not using that at the moment, and we're not going to go into it because I haven't wired up a mic or anything like that, or a speaker. So let's go back to the main loop. Now the main loop requires a button to be pressed, and that's one of the buttons I've got wired on the breadboard. Once that button is pressed, I've wired it up the other way around, so it's looking for a 0 signal rather than a high signal. It will take 50 analog readings from the temperature and then average them out. So it will just divide it by 50, and then it will send the text message. So I can show you that working. In fact, I can show you it working without sending a text message first. So I'm going to press the button. So if I just press the button now, and then we'll jump back to the other screen, and you'll see that it says 1475. So it's 14.75 degrees in here. And that is pretty accurate. It isn't warm. In fact, I can show you. So that's largely right. I think it's probably around a degree out. So I'm going to change the code now, and then I'm going to make it actually send a text message, and we'll jump back to the other screen and see what that looks like. So I'm going to put my telephone number in here. And then we're going to upload it and uncomment the section where it says send text message. We've plugged the module back in and we've reset the board, and so we're now ready to send our first text message. Now I've plugged in my details so that you can see it, but if I press this button, it should send the temperature value that we've been looking at. So here we go, fingers crossed. So you'll see in the serial monitor it's collecting the details of the message, and then it's going to say that it's okay, essentially, so it's sent the message. You'll see also it's got a number just above. That's how many text messages I sent so far. It does take a while. It's not very quick. I don't know whether it uses just the GSM network, so it's slower than perhaps the data network or something like that, but it does take a little while, so I'll time it and then tell you how long it took. There we go, finally. Now, I have to admit that I did have to move the antenna for the module. It was sort of underneath my soldering iron. Well, sort of. It's right next to my soldering iron, so I don't know whether there's any kind of blocking of signals or whatever. But it's worked out. We can see here that I've got a text message. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it, but let's see if it will focus on there. Are you going to focus? So there we go. It says the temperature is 14.98 degrees C. So I'm pretty happy that it will send those values. Now that's pretty much all I've got to say about the SIM800 module. Only that it's really cheap, it's very easy to use. All you need to do is get yourself a free SIM card. You can get them from most companies and they'll come with a tiny bit of credit already on them. Like the one I got was from EE and it came with £5 free credit, which is amazing, and no contract or anything like that. And I can send text messages through it. Texts are about 12p on a pay-as-you-go contract, so you'll get a fair few, but you'll burn through them pretty quickly. So you may want to top up every now and again, get a free booster pack or something like that. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Links to where you can buy one of these modules are in the description.